First of all, Happy New Year to all the people who are here today, and wish them all the best, happiness, good health, and success in whatever endeavors they undertake. And thanks to Sabu also, he has given me one more opportunity to talk about a techno-economic subject. We will all agree that digital technology has become today a part of your life, an indispensable part of your life, everyday life, be it for your communication, entertainment, healthcare, travel, education, and so on. While this is having a great role amongst individuals' life, institutions have reliable digital platforms which ensure that they are able to give faster, customized response, creating knowledge portals, and evolving efficient business solutions. In case of industries and agriculture-related units, 4.0 applications are getting regularly inducted for improving productivity, safety, and quality. At the government level, digital domain has provided trustworthy and accurate methods of extending e-governance in an all-inclusive manner to the vast population we have in India. Most of these developments in the digital field have taken place in India after the year 2000. Before that, India was largely dependent on imported equipment, imported appliances, and also we had embedded software which has come along with the appliances. Now, after 2000, India's status has changed immensely. It has got transformed. There are homegrown software packages, creation of networks, innovation by startups, AI solutions, and most recently, semiconductor manufacture have started in India and have firmly placed India in a leading position in the world. One of the recent most acclaimed achievements by India, which was shared with G20 countries and duly acknowledged by them, pertain to digital public infrastructure. And as a short form, I'll say this, DPI, which we are going to discuss today. I have a presentation on the same, and I will just upload for you. So today we are going to see how digital infrastructure has been set up in India and how it is working now, how it is expanding, and what is its contribution to India's GDP. That is the main thing which we are going to discuss. So the scope of discussions, I will just go through this. I told you it's only after 2000, the world itself became very knowledgeable and very active on digital applications so that e-governance is possible. It is there in almost all the countries. India has also started in a fairly stable manner after 2000. All the new public infrastructure focuses on a digital medium through which it is put to use. It is made a little more accessible to citizens, as well as even the digital domain has got a lot of influence on its project management and design and configuration, etc. And when these layers of digital DPIs have been made, they have been made interoperable so that they can draw data from each other and thereby make the total picture very all-encompassing for the authorities when they have to utilize this for e-governance. Economists feel that DPI can increase productivity, it is cost-effective, and is easily accessible services to the citizens, and can also thereby increase the GDP. So India, despite its huge population and diverse cultures, has rose to create a stack of layers of DPI and their applications. I will take a minute on explain the word stack. In many other literature in this field, it is also called India stack. That means like a stack of plates kept. Digital public infrastructure, one after the other, is layered in such a way that they are able to draw from each other's strength and create a overall picture for the authority. Now, I'm not calling the presentation based on India stack. There are many articles and many discussions on YouTube on India stack, but it essentially means India's digital public infrastructure, or India's DPI. Now, DPI for e-governance, let me try to explain to you. There are government policies, rules, and regulations for almost every aspect of departmental, for every department, the way they have to function for looking at the citizens' requirement. And there's a huge population, and there are e-governance schemes which are generated by discussion of the government authorities with people who are technologists who can understand the government policies and implement them through the e-governance model. And this contains e-governance for different sectors like health, education, identity, travel, etc., etc. And the overall objective is to make it uniform, inclusive, secure, and democratic. So that is the aim of this DPI. How well it can be made uniform to the entire population if they are able to access that particular portal. Just want to flag this point. India in 2000 had a population of 1.05 billion. And today the population is 1.45 as it stands now. And this infrastructure, which has been developed through digital medium, has attempted to make it a very inclusive, uniform service. There have been a lot of learnings on this front. We'll touch upon as we go along, and how the layer after layer which has come has benefited from the earlier layers. So let's look at what is the public infrastructure in 2000. I'm making an assumption that before 2000, there was no DPI. And all DPIs have come after 2000. So before 2000, there was definitely public infrastructure. I'll just run through it. If you want to know your identity, it was not at national level. Except those who were holding passports, you can say I'm an Indian passport holder, but everybody does not have a passport in India. So it was not uniform, it was not all inclusive. And your identity cards were department level identity cards. You're a member of KSCB, or you're a member of a college, or you're a member of an institution. It is not at national level identity card. So that was one of the factors which got addressed subsequently. We'll talk about it. The payment system was largely banks and post offices. Internet banking had not started in a big way in India. And similarly, the other payment models, which we'll discuss later, has not been there at that time. Financial assistance was largely a bureaucratic process by the banks, and it had its own difficulties for customers to get the loans. Health which were through hospitals and various primary centers. They were not having that much of digital uh, data or collection of digital data on the patients who had come. They were having some equipment which were giving digital data, but that did not make the uh, health records to be digitalized. Education, similarly, in universities were there for people to use their computers, but not as a knowledge portal, which had subsequently came. Similarly, for police stations, which was there, data protection was more physical. If you want to know the details of all the people in a particular organization, their biodata, etc., was collected, kept in a cupboard, locked, and that room had no access to unauthorized people. It was by physical layer, the data protection. It was not in digital domain. Communication was mostly landline. Mobiles had just about come at that time. Address was postal pin. I just want you to recall some time back we had spoken about DigiPin and how the address is getting digital. We'll touch upon it very briefly today. Governance was largely by manual methods. Retail system, there's no e-commerce those days, so it was based on you visiting shops and uh, purchasing whatever you wanted. Home delivery, etc., were not through the digital domain. And of course, mobility for you was uh, largely based on roads, highways, and bridges, and etc. Then what happened? After 2000, slowly the public infrastructure got an additional qualification saying digital public infrastructure because they were made more accessible. So let us look at how things went. Identity, it was Aadhar. And we're going to talk about Aadhar a little more in detail. Payment systems, it became UPI. And you know, UPI has a large amount of Indian population uses UPI, and there are many other countries also following UPI now. Financial assistance became digitalized through something called Sahmati. I will touch upon this a little later. It is not very well known. It's not much discussed what is Sahmati about, but we will come to that point a little later. Communication, 4G and 5G mobiles, health portal became Ayushman, e-Sanjeevani, and you may recall uh, when we discussed one of the 5G applications earlier, that today primary health centers have e-Sanjeevani program. It's a fascinating program because a villager, if he has to see a doctor, which will be perhaps in a hospital in the nearby town, he has to catch a bus and come to the hospital, wait there to see the doctor, and then go back. And if he's an elderly person, then he requires an attendant to come along with him. If it's a lady, then definitely you require another person to escort that lady or bring that lady to the hospital, take her back. There was a demand for another person also spending time on visit to the hospital. Now, the e-Sanjeevani program, which has been started a few years back, that every primary health center is connected through a video link to the town hospital nearby. If a villager he wants to consult the doctor, he goes to the primary health center and tells his problem very briefly to the attendant there, who is a paramedic, who understands a little bit about the medical issue. He fixes up a video call with the concerned doctor or concerned specialization, and the doctor talks to him, looks at him, and then examines whatever through the video calls, understands what exactly is problem, and tells the paramedic to take some blood sample or urine sample, and also advise him to come back again after 2 days when the results are available. The samples are sent to the town hospital, the results are available. The doctor has got the results on his laptop. The attendant has got his results on the laptop. The patient comes back again the next day or the 2 days later, and then the doctor discusses the issue and the line of treatment. And maybe there's an X-ray required or some other ultrasound required. Then he has to go to the town hospital or to a scanning center. So this has actually benefited the rural population a big way in India, especially for female population. They have immensely benefited out of this because they are able to uh, utilize this and have minimum time spent away from home, while at the same time their treatment is getting progress. Universities have started some e-Siksha. There is a network called National Network on Crimes, uh, which is all over India, which is for basically for uh, police stations, which gives you details of all the crimes you have taken over India. It is very helpful to the police people who are investigating and also for people who are specializing in this area. Data protection through digital wallet. You already must be having this. Earlier it was physical custody. Postal PIN has become DigiPIN, but of course DigiPIN has not been released. We discussed this in the earlier talk, and it is waiting for Navik satellites to get fully ready. At the moment, we don't have the full configuration, so DigiPIN is on hold. Uh, regarding governance, which were physical and paper-based, now look at Vahan portal regarding your license or uh, regarding your car details, etc. Now that is become digitalized and becomes easy for you to get all the information. And IT portal has become far more uh, intelligent and far more interactive with the taxpayer than what it was 4 5 years back. So retail shops, etc., have got replaced by ONDC and GEM. Essentially for government procurement. So I will not bother much about that. It is used by department. ONDC is a fascinating uh, concept. Open network for digital commerce. Apart from Amazon and Flipkart and Myntra, etc., who are capturing the market, the government has pushed another scheme for the local keepers who are called Kirana shopkeepers. And those shopkeepers are registered on a portal. And if you're staying somewhere and your nearby shops are there on the portal, you can order on them and it will get delivered to you. And it is possible for you to get items of interest to you, of local flavor, and which is normally not available with Amazon or some other e-commerce which is dealing with food. Uh, so this is a new economy. It is picking up very fast. It took a little time for it to settle down, but I think ONDC is progressing very well now. So you find that uh, just give me a minute. Okay. Now, these are the progress which are taking place in digital public infrastructure on many fields. And of course, highways and bridges and etc. They have continued. But along with that, for travel, there is FASTag, which enables you to move a little faster and pay the toll which is required for revenue generation for the money which is invested in that infrastructure. And Digi Yatra, those of you who are flying by air will know how useful it is. Digi Yatra, it has become so good that you go to the airport, you just stand in front of a camera, he recognizes your face and puts your name there, and you just walk in. And the same Digi Yatra allows you to go to security, and after security to go further into the aircraft. It has become very, very useful, so helpful it has become, which is highly popular, but it is not there in all airports. Small airports, Digi Yatra has not been set up so far. So if you see the first four group of first four, they are foundational in nature. Aadhar, UPI, mobiles, they cover a large percentage of the population. while the subsequent 5 to 12, they are applications which draw data from the foundation. Imagine the foundation as a stack of layers, digital layers having your data, the citizens' data, which is kept safely in the server or in the vault, and other applications, which is in the lower group, draws data from that and thereby provides a service to the citizen. So if you recall, in all the bottom group, whenever you have to register, it is always Aadhar linked. The reason is your basic data, your address, your email, your telephone number, all this come from Aadhar digital layer, which is passed on to the application layer. That is why this stacking of layers is being very, very thoughtfully done by the concerned authorities. So before I go to further discussion on DPI, I just want to tell you that a term called digital public good, I'm just explaining that particular term because you will see in some write-ups. Digital public good is also called e-goods, but essentially they pertain to a set of goods which can be easily copied, reproduced, transferred, sent, forwarded. All those things can be done on the e-goods easily. Some of them need to be protected. Some need not be protected. If it is citizens' data, it has to be protected. If it is some other e-goods, it can be transferred to another user. So the digital e-goods is essentially data from public, which has to be safeguarded, and also the open source software, which is required for the DPI. Why I am saying this, to make a DPI, you need to have a software which, as a principle, government is taking from open source. So it is something which is not related to some particular company or institution which has developed the software, and thereafter you are dependent on that person. It is available in the net, and data is taken from the public, which is individual data. Now, both these are put into a DPI software, which has been developed and tested for all the conditions in the government policy. Now, this, after testing, becomes a DPI. Before the DPI is made, first you identify a software for it, you take the data from public. In this case, most of the data will come from Aadhar for testing purpose, etc. And thereafter, the DPI is available for using for various applications. At the moment in India, there are only 3 DPIs. 3. Aadhar, UPI, as well as what I told you regarding your credit worthiness, Sahamati. I will talk about it as we go. These are only 3 layers which we have at the moment. Rest all are applications drawing data from the DPI. Let's go forward. So DPI is like a rail. It's a foundation layer which has got all the details of your address, mobile number, etc., etc. And these are applications which draw from that. Now, while I'm speaking on Aadhar card, I should also tell you your Aadhar card is going to change. It was supposed to have been announced in the month of December, but it has not got announced. Maybe it'll get announced in January. Your new Aadhar card will replace the existing card, and the format is going to be your photo and a QR code. No other data will be there. No name, no date of birth or year of birth, no address, nothing. All those are in this QR code. Why this has been done is because a lot of cases have come where Aadhar cards are being copied, especially by merchants who are, or hotels where you're going and staying. They copy your Aadhar card as a proof of your identity because you're staying there. And thereafter, that data is likely to be lost or transferred to somebody else who may misuse it. So now a new Aadhar card is going to come. That means every person who asks for Aadhar card will also have a QR code reader, which is very similar to DigiYatra. So you go and stand in front of the camera, that reader, your face will come there, and the person who is asking for your Aadhar, let's say a hotel receptionist, he will look at the photo and you're the same person. Name also will come there. Your booking is done for you, so everything is fine. He cannot store the data. He cannot transfer the data. That is the protection which has been done in this new Aadhar card. So let's hope this new Aadhar card is released in the month of January. I think it will happen before the budget, so it may come. So if you look at Aadhar, which was introduced in 2010, the last 15 years, it has grown up to 143 crores so far. So India, which has got a population of 145 crores, has Aadhar of 143 crores, almost more than 96-97% have Aadhar cards in India. Now, out of this population of 145 crores, 97 has got smartphones. Why am I saying this? Because a lot of your applications regarding UPI work on smartphones. So those having smartphones are 97 crores. But the number of people using UPI is only 50 crores. Some people are not opting for UPI. Some people are having smartphones, but their connectivity is poor in the place where they are staying, especially if it's rural side. Some people have a smartphone, but they don't know how to use it. Their digital literacy is low. They're not very comfortable using a smartphone, especially for bank transactions, etc. They're very happy if you can say hello and speak a few words and cut off the call. So UPI users today are only about 50 crores, which is a low compared to what we are seeing. We see a large number of people using UPI, but on the ground, the registered people are very close to only 50 crores of people. Still, there's a huge section of our population which is not embarked on using the UPI financial system. They have a bank account, but they're not having UPI mode of money transfer. I talked about Aadhar to you a little earlier. So Aadhar, all data is kept in a digital vault. Very important to know, which has got access control. Only those people working in that UIDAI organization can access the data which is written there. And whatever is stored there is encrypted. After you have shared, the citizen has shared the data is encrypted and kept there. And therefore, if somebody is trying to access that, he won't be able to utilize it because of the encryption. Aadhar numbers are stored separately. So the data is in one server, for example, and all their corresponding Aadhar numbers are in another one, but they are interconnected through some other code. So it is not easy for someone a particular person's complete biodata, data to be taken out, citizens' data to be taken out. Of course, Aadhar digital layer helps you to have all the applications integrated. Wherever it is stored, a restricted physical entry is there. That's access control only. And lastly, it has got a disaster recovery site. I don't know whether it's one site or two sites or more, but there is a disaster recovery site which is actually for the data. All the data kept in the vault is duplicated and kept elsewhere, or duplicated and kept in more than two places, which ensures that the data is not lost due to some disaster, maybe fire, maybe earthquake, maybe flooding, all these things to make sure that it is. So in a day, the data is copied from main site to the disaster sites let us say once in 1 hour or something like that. They must be having a protocol by which the data is updated in the disaster site. Right. Now, India stack, now I'm using the word stack just to come back to the data, DPI layers, but stack is a term used by people who are in this field. Stack, India stack of, there are 3 layers as I told you. First is Aadhar, which we had discussed. Second is payment layer, which you all know about, and we have also discussed. If there's any particular issue, we can discuss during Q&A. The third layer is a data layer. Now, the third layer of uh, digital public infrastructure, which is the one which has got all the details regarding the citizen, is based on the consent given by the citizen. In many applications, when you go and say, let's say you go to Vahan or you go to income tax portal or somewhere else, you agree saying, I agree to share my data. That actually means you are given a consent and that data. But this has become a little more structured now because digital personal data is getting protected as per Act of 2023, just passed by Parliament, but the rules were issued only in August 25, 4 months back. 4 months back, the rules have been issued. All the data which have been given by citizens are as per this set of rules regarding collection of data, processing it, how you get the consent, how you make sure the privacy is ensured, what are the government's powers, what are the citizens' rights. Citizen can say, I don't want to share the data anymore, I'm withdrawing it. You can do it. So those are citizens' rights. Then what are the obligations of the person who's collected the data? It's called data fiduciary. Does he have, what are his obligations? He has to do 1, 2, 3, 4 to make sure the data is protected. And there's a separate hierarchy of authorities who ensure this data is protected. And if there's any grievance, then it is addressed by this mechanism. So just remember there are only 3 DPA layers at this point of time. And I will talk about it towards the end. What is the 4th layer which is going to come? Right. In future, there may be more layers, and I'm telling you about. So DPI is uniform, inclusive, democratic, accessible, interoperable, and it is affordable, and it is secure. And based on this aspect alone, that it is saving productivity of citizens. I don't have to go to bank to make a payment. I don't have to go and stand in the line for ensuring that I am able to do some internet operation. I can do it from my home. And I'm able to, let's say, tax your income tax if you're a file or your municipal tax which you have to pay. I don't have to fill up any paper, go to that office, pay the amount on the counter, nothing. Everything can be done from your comfort of your home through internet. So digital applications have really made the GDP increase because of productivity. People are not losing time by doing this important jobs which they have to do as a citizen, but they're able to find time to do during non-working hours or from home, etc. They're able to do it. And an evaluation of this was done in 2022, and they said GDP has gone up by 0.9% because of only these facilities which have been given, and is expected it will go to 3 to 4% in 2030 when more facilities are created on the internet and layers are created. And as you all know, India's GDP is supposed to hit 10 trillion by 2030. Now we are at 4.2. So we have got, the graph is not linear, it goes by like that. Now it will get slightly, it will increase fast and we'll be able to catch up with this target if all other factors pertaining to GDP are favorable to us. So, but there are challenges in operating DPIs. Setting a DPI, first thing is data privacy and security of data. This is the biggest concern. And as I told you, I just explained to you how the Aadhar vault is configured. Like that, one has to, the government authorities or the departments have to ensure the data is safe. There is a digital divide in our population. About 20 to 25% of our population, most of them rural based, are not digitally literate to use the facilities which are available to a citizen on the net. So, government has to focus on how to improve this literacy for the people, especially the people who are not in urban areas, who are in rural areas. So this is a challenge for the government. Some efforts have already started. There aren't any reports saying what is the benefit of all the literacy schemes which are this thing that is not there, but some improvement is expected in the years to come. Then the regulations were having some gaps between, let us say, what one regulation talked about, vehicle ownership, Motor Vehicles Act, and the various aspects of license, etc. Something else was on pertaining to income tax. The third was something to pertain to municipal corporations, etc. So there were gaps in these regulations regarding data collection, and some of them, the data which was coming was fragmented. It is not a complete, wholesome picture. Through DPDP Act, many of these things have got addressed, and slowly you will find all these applications are streamlined properly. Not only the applications which are riding on the stack, but also individual applications on the net, which are run by various local bodies like corporations or by state governments. You will see the difference if you use Kerala state. I think it is called Sanjay or something like that. The e-portal, the data which is collected, the method it is structured, etc. And since I am in Tamil Nadu and I look at it, I find there's a difference. They are not streamlined in the same manner. I suppose it will happen as we progress. And of course, platform monopoly is always an issue, which I talked about earlier. Cyber threats are something we have to be worried about, because nearly there are some engineers here who understand what is pico bytes, pico number of bytes, 10 raised to 12, I think so. Sort of 100 picobytes of data which is there, which needs to be safeguarded, and they should protect it from cyber threats. And data centers which are keeping this data, your data, my data, all of our data, they require energy both of nearly 1 gigawatts now, because they need to be maintained all the time. They are in with backup supply and air conditioning and various other systems in place, fire protection, etc. So data center are energy guzzling. They require a lot of electricity power. And data centers in India has got more than 70 or 80 data centers now. I'm not talking about DPI, but otherwise for various business processes. Data centers are, and we're storing data not only of India, but also of many other countries, which is the data sent through cloud and it is stored in India. It is like a service provided by many other companies to foreign companies, saying that you can store your data here, it is safe, secure, but of course they require a lot of electricity to run the data. So these are the challenges. So let me make an international comparison on this. India's example of DPI has been very attractive. Global attention has been there, especially during G20 meeting which happened in, I think, a year back in September 20. They all appreciated, all the countries which came, on how you have been able to set up digital layers like this for citizens' service e-governance. Of course, we all heard about JAM Trinity, Jan Dhan account, Aadhar, mobile. And we also heard about CoWIN. You may recall this CoWIN is one of the layers which was created temporarily. That means during COVID, if you are logged into the COVID, it had a separate uh, portal, and that portal will tell you in the place where you are, your position is known from the Google map, and that will tell you there are 20 other people in this street who are having COVID at this point of time. It helped people to protect themselves. And COVID platform, of course, now COVID platform is not relevant because COVID is not rampant. But during COVID pandemic, this was used extensively by our citizens. Japan, USA also got a lot of DPIs, but their approach has been more on safeguarding the digital data and consumer protection. While India carried about and carried out in a different way. Of course, USA and Japan had companies which were asked to do all this, and the government supervised that. But India followed a different approach. I'll come to it. China was totally controlled by the government and their own innovation, their own mechanism of improving it, their own mechanism of collecting data and storing it, etc. China followed it in that manner. But in India, it was a hybrid path. The government created the infrastructure and private agencies collaborated to run it. When I say private means, let us take the health of Ayushman Bharat. A separate national health authority was created as a separate organization, and they were asked to run it. UIDAI is running the Aadhar Card. There are banks along with telecom agencies. They are running the GPay or some other form of payment which are there in for payment through UPI. So they have been able to use private or dedicated organizations and the government agency, and the government put the money to create the infrastructure. Of course, it's almost public knowledge. UPI, where the facility has been created by government, no service fee is taken from the citizen for using UPI. It is being given free. While a similar scheme in another country, they charge you service charges for using UPI, their UPI or their scheme. India government is subsidizing it essentially from the point that it is helping low-income people. It is helping people who are small businessmen, small traders, and there is a benefit to productivity. Amount of currency notes required has come down, so you don't spend money in printing that much of notes. ATM, people going to ATM and drawing money, that has also come down a bit because they are all relying on UPI. So there are a lot of benefits out of this scheme, which is able to fund the service charges which government is bearing it. Government has set up the infrastructure and given to, I think, National Payments Corporation Limited, NPCL, to run it. And they are not charging any money for it. We can discuss this more in question answer. So our principle of DPI has been it should be sustainable, inclusiveness, and it should be future ready for other digital ecosystem which will come. We are privately provisioned, but publicly accessible. That has been our catchword, each DPI, so that citizens are able to access that facility, and it's a form of e-governance which the government has ensured. So we have got a very strong digital backbone which is giving all this facility. There's one more DPI layer going to come, and this is my my assessment. I could be wrong, but let me share it with you. You know, the government is going to conduct census very soon. Aadhaar UPI data layers have already been stabilized. Ayushman and commerce applications are picking up that speed. but ONDC and Ayushman are going slowly. They should be faster. There are problems on the healthcare front. I know why Ayushman is not progressing fast. We can discuss. So the government is going to conduct census in 26-27. 26 is phase 1, 27 is phase 2. In phase 1, all the houses, all the residences, all the living spaces are going to be mapped. Your tag, that means your house, wherever you are staying, or whoever is staying in a house, all those details of Aadhar Card, etc., as well as how many people staying there, are mapped to a house address. And that house address will be in DigiPin. We talked about DigiPin some months back, which is a set of alphanumerical. No more address like so-and-so road, near the temple, opposite the school, nothing. All those things of address is gone. Or is going. So it will be DigiPin, a string of 10 alphabets. I'm sorry, alphanumerical, some alphabets, some numbers. And that will specify your location. And that location will talk about who are the people staying there and their Aadhar cards. Subsequent phase 2 will be more details regarding caste and educational qualification, where you are working, what are the income you have, or what are the facilities you have, etc. Which is more on economic aspects of the particular citizen. When this database is created in 26-27, I think there'll be another layer of DPI, which is Aadhaar linked to house address, which is linked to DigiPin. And that DigiPin will appear on your mobile if you have satellite data coming from India's satellite called Navik, which will take 2 years. So let's say by 27, you will have the map of Trivandrum city or Kottayam, and then you can you put your DigiPin address. You will exactly show you where you're staying, and somebody else who wants to visit can just press that with against your name, and he'll be able to find a way to your house. But the authorities will also know that this house belongs to whom. What is his Aadhar card? This Aadhar card has got how many properties on the name. All these things can be created, constructed. So I think that layer is going to happen in the next 2 years. Good thing from one point of that it will strengthen the government records better. It will get linked to land records, which is getting digitized. So land records digitized, plus your address, DigiPin, plus census data, all this will get integrated. So government precisely will know, or any authority will precisely know, where is so-and-so person with Aadhar card, no so-and-so number stay. Today it's possible if he's traveling, the Digi Yatra will tell you so-and-so person, Aadhar card has crossed this gate. It's possible for to know. If you've got a car, it's possible to know your car has crossed the toll gate. Your car has crossed, not you may not be in the car. Your driver must have taken it. It's crossed. So these are all methods which are required by which data can be utilized for if there is a crime, if there's a fraud, or if there is immediate help required, or for disaster relief. So many things can be used. It can also have a interpretation that it can be used for snooping on a person. It is possible, but there are more benefits than any adverse aspects. So there are some applications also coming. Now there's a difference, please understand. One is a layer, which is foundational, and other is an application, which draws the data from the foundation. So there are some applications coming for artificial intelligence, for various sectors, applications for health, application for banking services, etc., which are being developed. So these are also come, but these are applications which will come one after the other when layers are, the fourth layer is established. So I'm told this new application which is coming with AI is going to be called the people plus AI layer, so that you can get whatever artificial intelligence support you want, be it regarding your healthcare problem, health issues, or maybe something to do with your education aspect, etc. So finally, it will all go into the chat GPT way. The data will come from there and you will get some advice. So let me come to the conclusions. India's stack of DPIs. Industry 4.0, which started around 2000, a little after that in India, has made digitalization after 2000 very popular world over. Those of you who are not familiar with Industry 4.0, I will just add one sentence. Industry 1.0 was when steam engine or steam power was invented 270 years back. Industry 2.0 is when electrical energy was invented through generators which ran either DC or AC. Those supplies, that is 2.0. And industry, that is about more than 130 years back. And Industry 3.0, when digital computers were invented and it came into application for various, either as a desktop or a laptop or some mainframe computers. When digital computation came, that helped processes to happen with a better efficiency. That was 3.0. Let's put a year to it, 1975. 50 years back, 3.0 came. And about 25 years back, 4.0 came, when you could use the power of internet to run a particular application. Power of internet was for collecting data from various places, putting them together, finding the pattern, trend, and then take a decision, be it for a process, chemical process, or it could be for a business process. 4.0 was also used for improving quality of the product. 4.0 was also used for monitoring the progress of projects. So 4.0 enabled speedier, more efficient, productive, safe methods of running industry. And Industry 4.0 stayed to improve this. It came 25 years back. And slowly in the wake of 4.0, the digital public infrastructure came. India took a lead in 2010 by having Aadhar. I told you about it. Then later, in 2015, 5 years later, after Aadhar came, Aadhar plus mobile plus bank accounts got integrated together to form UPI. So India's three foundation layers were created by 2023, 2 years back. These three layers, they are running at this point of time. The last layer, which is concern-based DP layer, also decides your credit worthiness. When you apply for a loan, the bank will tell you, yes, we'll give the loan, or we can give only so much. The bank is not doing the job. There's some other agency which is doing the background. Bank just forwards your application along with all the records, not along with records, details of your accounts. They have the access to account. They do a calculation. They use some AI also and tell the bank, you can give 2 lakhs loan to this. Hattie will give you more details on this because he is the active banker even now. And DPIs facilitate trust among citizens, enhance productivity, enrich e-commerce. And I told you a new layer is likely to be formed about addresses. And in 22, we had a modest increase of 0.9% GDP, which may become 3% to 4% in 2030, and will continue to lift our GDP. We are planning, we are hoping that we will have 10 trillion by 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, I've given you a brief introduction on how digital public infrastructure has got created in India, how they have been made interoperable, how it is getting built one on top of another, how something new may come after a couple of years, and how it will benefit e-governance of this vast country, which may have by 2030 1.5 billion people, and it is accessible to all the citizens. Of course, there are challenges I told you to do it, and one of them is ensuring that everybody has got good connectivity to the internet. Also, digital literacy has to be improved amongst the population. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Jai Hind.